Let's see if there's anyone here. Here we go. Hi guys, hi guys. Whoa. Greetings, greetings. John, Steve, Papa. Oh, Steve, I'm very sorry to hear that. Yeah, send me in if you can, Steve. I always get bummed out when those things happen. If you can drop me an email, send me an email, and I will try to sort things out with you. Yeah, it's a bummer. I'm terribly sorry. So send me an email and I'll sort you out. Maybe I order a shirt and send you a t-shirt myself. Yeah, great. And guys, let me know. I had to dust all the equipment off. It's been a while, so if there's anything I need to change, let me know. How's the volume doing? Tone it down a bit maybe. Hey Barry. Oh, thanks Steve. Yeah, me too. It's going to be a more talky live stream. I have one present to unbox, but I haven't uploaded a video in quite a while, and I haven't done a live stream in even longer. So I had the evening off, so I thought let's do a live stream. Picture good, volume good, great. There might be a little buzz in the background, and that's because I have an AC running at the moment. It's starting to get summer here and it's starting to get hot in the shop. So guys, if you have any questions, let me know. And I received a box from Matthew, so I think I'm going to wait until I see Matthew in chat. So Matthew, if you're in chat, let me know, because I'm going to unbox your gift during the stream. Any boss? That's great, that's great. And how are you guys doing? I haven't spoken to you in a while as well. I need to clean the camera lens. I think I haven't received any messages. Yeah, I'm going to finish my coffee and then we're going to do the unboxing and we'll go from there. I have nothing planned for tonight except talk to you guys. I'm going to check one thing. Hold on. So, let's see if I had any messages on my... Oh, John, I'm still using your intonation technique. Thanks, Daniel. Found out to my relief was a little off. Oh, great tip. Glad I could help, John. It's those little things, those little adjustments you're able to do yourself to your guitar that makes a whole lot of difference. Let's see, YouTube. Let's see if I received any questions. On the post I made. No. Not really, unfortunately. Put this back in camera. Professional streamer going off stream. Let's see, give it another couple of minutes. Is there anything I can talk about? Yeah, maybe. Maybe a bit of a channel update, what's happening in the workshop. And hi, Mr. Martin. 18 guitars. Holy. Yeah, it makes life easier if you have to. Of course, you're more than welcome to bring your 18 guitars here for some maintenance and setups, but I think it can turn out quite expensive if you have to take your guitars to a luthier every time you need a little adjustment or a little setup. Yeah, Barry, good question. What's my next build? And that is a nice bridge into what's happening on the channel. I'm currently working with 2 clients at the same time to start their custom guitar experience. So it's a lot of going back and forth with emails and meetings to figure out what the guitar their dream guitar, what it should be. So I'm very busy making designs and doing these meetings and back and forth before I can actually start building the guitars. So hopefully one, and in best case both of those potential customers will order a custom guitar with a custom guitar experience. And how I'm going to translate that into video, I'm not sure yet, because when working on a customer's guitar, I want to be 110% focused on working on the guitar and not being also focused on doing a video and having needing the time to edit those videos. So what I think I'm going to do is first build 1 or 2 guitars, take some footage from those 2 builds and make YouTube series or videos from that footage. So yeah, just in order to make the deadlines and to keep me focused on building the actual guitars. Things are going to change a bit. I might do a live stream while working on a guitar if the client permits it. Of course, it's a client's choice if they want their guitar featured on YouTube. So yeah, we'll have to see. At the moment, like I said, I'm in the process of hopefully getting 2 custom builds, and what that means for the channel I'm not sure, but be assured there will be videos coming out, but maybe not in the same frequency as I used to do. Like I said, because I need the time and the focus on those 2 guitars. And if for some reason those 2 custom guitars don't happen, I've planned to do maybe another Pantera build. So fingers crossed I can do some custom work. John, has the Phoenix guitar sold? Not yet, not yet. I went to a couple of guitar shows and there was a lot of interest and everyone loved the guitar, but unfortunately no one loved it enough to make a purchase. So it's still up for sale. Yeah, fingers crossed, Barry. I've always been honest on this channel, and I really need either 1 or 2 custom builds, so commission builds, or I need to sell at least 1 or 2 guitars this year before I have to close the door. I'm going to be very honest, and that's why this live stream is happening, to give you an update. I really need to start to make this business. I need to start make money. Up until this point, a Quendo guitar has only cost me money, and I'm running out. Simple as that. I'm running out of money, that I can't afford. I can afford one other guitar build from my own money. I can afford to buy components, hardware and such for one more guitar, and then it's done. It's as easy as that. Then I'm, yeah, technically bankrupt. So there needs to be a change this year, and that's why I'm mostly focusing this year on trying to get a commission build and attending guitar shows and promoting Encuentro guitars outside of YouTube, just to try and get the guitars into people's hands, let them play, and hopefully either order a custom guitar or purchase one of my stock models. So that's the state of the channel and the state of the business, so to say. It's a bit weird to actually say it out loud on camera in an empty shed, but that's the way it is. Yeah, so I need a moment. I've always been open and honest, but like I said, saying these things out loud, it makes it real. So yeah, no matter what, there will be another build coming to the channel, and hopefully not the last one. Oh, and Heron. He's leaving the fishes alone. Yeah, me too, John. Yeah, thank you for the compliment. No, I'm not the only one. I know many who struggle to sell their guitars. I don't know. I've heard both sides of this story. I heard builders like me struggle to get customers, to get their builds sold, to get people in their shop to do setups and repairs. And I've heard stories of other builders who started building guitars and now have a full-time job with plenty of customers to fill the entire year. So I don't know why it's happening. I'm trying to study the market. I try to study marketing to, I don't know, in my opinion, I'm trying everything there is to do. But yeah, it's difficult. It's hard times, yeah. One is for a viewer, someone who's at least familiar with my channel, who found me through the YouTube channel. And one other, I know he watches my videos, but he came across my guitars when someone was performing with one of my guitars on stage, and he got to talk to that guy, and I think he then started watching my channel. So it's a bit of both. And shows, unfortunately, not yet. Shows is always a bit difficult, and I know from experience it can take up to 1 or 2 years, maybe even longer, before someone you met at a show has enough confidence and makes the step to either order a custom guitar or buy a handmade guitar. It always takes a lot of time, and I spoke about this with Nick Huber. I think you all know Nick, great builder, great guitars, and he also told me it takes about 3 years of regular visiting the same show before people start recognizing you and start to become genuinely interested in maybe purchasing a guitar. It takes a couple of years and people getting to know you before they start considering buying a guitar from you. Yeah, thanks Mr. Martin. And luckily guys, it might sound more drastic than it is. I still have a job for 20 hours in a week, and that pays my bills. That makes it possible for me and my wife to keep living where we are, to keep doing what we like to do. And up until this point, it also made it possible for me to try and build up an Quendo guitars. But I had a set amount I could spend, and that's slowly draining away, both by the bills I do and also the overhead of running a business. Of course, I have to pay my accountant, I have to pay for my website, my emails, I have to pay for licenses for YouTube, for the video, for the music and software I use. I might have to replace my camera equipment one day and such. So the overhead is fairly substantial, and yeah, all in all, it made it that we're in the situation we're in. It's slowly draining away all my reserves. Hey, there's Matthew. All right, Matthew's here in the chat. Hi, Matthew. I got your present, so we're going to unbox this in a moment. And thanks, Martin. So now that Matthew is here, I'm going to unbox his little gift. I have some idea what's in it. I know there's a plane in this package. So I'm going to set up a secondary camera and we're going to unbox this package. Let's see, secondary camera. Here we go. Camera, device, my phone. Haha. Maybe raise it a little. Get chat back. There you are. Maybe you should have cleaned it, yeah? Now it's too late. We're going to open it. And you can see, Matthew, you can confirm this for me. I haven't opened it. And once again, Matthew, I've sent you an email, but thank you very much. And yeah, everything I told you guys just now, this makes it worth everything. Is that correct English? I don't know, but it makes it worth doing it. Haha! Oh, I wanted to do a nice reveal. Yeah, I'm sure I'm getting some use out of this, Matthew. Again, thank you very much. Oh, wow. Wow, wow, it's heavy. Oh my goodness. Can you guys see this? I know it's a bit dark. I left the big studio lights off for tonight. Maybe I should put them on. Oh, let's go. Wow, Matthew. Oh my God. I'm speechless. There's a spare blade. Oh yeah! I missed it, but I hardly throw away any packaging. Oh yeah, spare blade. And it's clean, Matthew, no worries. Wow. Yeah, this will really help that the blade is all the way to the edge. It really helps with, yeah, like you said, with doing the Phoenix. I can now plane along the edge real nice. Wow. That's very generous. But like a technician, I have to take it apart. I have to take it apart. Let's see, can I switch this one up to maybe this? Yeah. It says Yuma, J-U-U-M-A. Here it is on the box. This is incredible, guys. Thank you very much. Oh, come on. Wow. It's nicely machined. Very nice cast. Yeah, I haven't heard of this brand either. But it looks great. Even, I don't know if you can see it on maybe the little camera right there. Even the casting on these edges, there's no burrs whatsoever. I don't know, Martin. I'm not sure. There aren't any moderators in my chat. Oh, I shouldn't have said that out loud, but the chat shouldn't be moderated except for what YouTube does automatically. So maybe if you made a typo, or maybe you try to post a link. I'm not sure if you can post any links in chat. That might be the only thing. If YouTube thinks you're swearing, or I think links are automatically moderated, but not by me. It's something that YouTube does automatically. Oh, yeah, it is, Mr. Martin. It's a rebate plane or a bull plane, or I'm not sure how they're called. But you can see the mouth of the plane is over the entire width of the plane. So on the Phoenix it helps me to plane along the edges of the raised section in the center. Wow. Okay, yeah, I have to, a rebate block plane, yeah, I have to look it up, Matthew. But it's a nice looking plane. It's very solid. I think it's a nice piece of kit. Ow. Real nice. Only needs a tiny bit of work. Might be something I can do right now during the stream while hanging out with you guys. Oh. What is happening? Let's see. Something to do during the stream. Oh, there's a road a bit laying around. No. Here it is. Hi Stan. Nice to see you in chat. Yeah, I think, let me grab some stuff and I'll be right back. I need a bit of this. Some diamond plates. No, it's a... Hi Graham, nice to see you. Oh, hi John. Hopefully I can remember that. I'm sorry if I mess it up. John. I think you... Oh. know that I hear and see a lot of names during the day and in comments and on videos, and so if I mess something up, guys, I'm sorry. Let's see. Can we move the camera a bit? Yeah. Let's first address the sole of the plane. Draw on the back of the plane. And with the plane fully assembled, I'm going to flatten the bottom a bit. And this is a step you might have to do with every plane you get. And you can use a piece of glass with some sandpaper or a diamond stone or a leveling beam. Essentially anything that's flat. Yep. Oh, before I wipe it, you can see how good this plane was when it came out of the box. Just in a couple of seconds, maybe less than a minute, the bottom is flat. I'm mostly self-taught, Graham. Just like many of you, or maybe most of you, I started by watching YouTube videos, and I had made 2 guitars before I went on a 6-day course over at Crimson Guitars in the UK, and after that I just started building guitars. So I'm not formally trained in either lutherie or woodworking. Yeah, it's a cast iron base, and it's beautifully cast. Very, very high quality casting, and nice machining on the brass as well. Yeah, it won't show up on camera no matter how hard I try, but even the inside of this little knob is polished. There are no machine marks whatsoever. Sometimes with cheaper planes there's burrs along these edges. Nothing. The only tool marks visible are here at the front of the plane. Maybe if it will focus. Will it focus? Come on. It sees my face, so it won't focus. Most likely. Yeah, here we go. Only this edge has some machine marks. But there's no burr, nothing. So, are you sure, Matthew? I can hardly believe it. Wow. Yeah. So this was course. Let's see, this is the secondary step. Oh, thanks, Graham. I'm not sure about that, but maybe. It's so flat already, it's starting to stick. Not quite there yet. Let's see. Clamp it to the bench. Oh, thanks, John. Thank you very much. Now we have multiple Johns in chat. It confuses me. Yeah, maybe we should have John and Mr. John in chat. And guys, while I'm working on this beautiful plane, if you have any questions, anything you want me to talk about, let me know. And if you want me to shut up and keep working, also let me know. Yeah, I'm almost there. Maybe you can see it on camera. There's a dull spot left here in the center of the plane. Oh, yeah, you can see it right here. I'm going to try and polish this a tiny bit more. Oh yeah, of course, John. Yeah, Not really new, but I'm glad. I'm happy to talk about those guitars. And let's start with the Pantera. Of course, the Pantera, as you can see on the website, is from my Reimagined series, like the Phoenix. And those guitars are based on an existing model, where the Phoenix is clearly inspired by a Gibson Firebird. The Pantera is inspired by my first real expensive guitar, namely the Westone X390A Pantera in Caspian Blue. It's a late 70s guitar, made by a Japanese company that tried as one of the first Eastern companies to get its foot between the doors, so to say, in Europe and America as an affordable alternative to the well-known brands Gibson and Fender at those times. And they made very high quality guitars, but for too little money, so they went out of business. I think somewhere mid-80s they went out of business. But yeah, one of the guitars models they made for only 1 or 2 years. It's not really clear how long they made these guitars, these Pantera model, the X390 model. Some say that of the Caspian Blue color, the color I own, only 16 were ever made in production. Maybe a couple of prototypes, but according to a designer who did an interview with the Westone fan website, according to him, there were only 16 pieces made in Caspian Blue and a couple of hundreds in the other colors. So yeah, my guitar is supposedly is a collector's item, and being my first real expensive guitar, it cost at those days the equivalent of 1,500 euros. When I was 15, I bought the guitar and I played it a lot, and yeah, of course I wanted to build my version, a tribute to that guitar. I still own that guitar, by the way. It's hanging on the wall in the showroom, so if you ever if you ever have an occasion to visiting my showroom, you can see the Pantera I built on the YouTube, and the original Westone Pantera hanging side by side. And yeah, in the YouTube videos in the series of me building the Westone, of building the Pantera tribute, you can see both guitars side by side as well. So that's the story behind the Pantera. And the Sonia is the second guitar model I developed, and it's my single cut. If I had to design a single cut model, that's what the Sonia is. And while I was designing the Sonia, I had the same parameters as I had with the when designing the Nessa. So all the things I liked about single cut guitars I put into one model, and everything I disliked on single cut guitars I didn't put in that guitar. So if you look closely, you can clearly see the roots of the Sonia. You can clearly see it's basically a Telly and a Les Paul slammed together with my Unquendor sauce over the top, and you get the Sonia. Oh, just missed a chunk of the stream. You're watching in 340p, John. I remembered to call him John. We're almost there. Well, it is somewhat appropriate when talking about Westone and the Westone guitars to turn it back to the 70s. Even look, it's 380 240p. Is that still a thing? Is it 240? And dial-up internet. I'm curious in chat. Who is young enough to don't know what dial-up internet is? Or haven't experienced dial-up internet? I think most of us can remember dial-up internet. .240p. It still exists. Yeah. And thinking I'm doing this stream from a shed in the back of the garden with currently I'm streaming at 1080p 60 frames a second. But I could stream 4K if I wanted to. Talking about this 80s, 70s, it's more 80s. Did you guys know they're trying to revive the Commodore? That they're really, honestly trying to find ways, I think a couple of YouTubers are trying to revive Commodore, trying to get hold of the license and make Commodore 64 computers and Amigas again. Of course, with updated hardware, but still the same look and feel as the old Commodores. Yeah. Yeah, me too. Oh yeah, Graham, we already talked a bit about it, but I can give you a quick summary. Currently I'm working with 2 clients trying to build them a guitar. So we're in the stages of pre-design, making quotes, getting on the same page. So hopefully in the near future I have 1 or 2 guitars to build as a commission. And to be frank, it's really needed as well. I'm currently at the point that this is my make or break year, so to say. I have just enough spare or funds, however you like to call it, to do 1 more build from my own pocket. And if by then I haven't sold any of my guitars or have a guitar commissioned, I have to pause Unquendo guitars for, yeah, I don't know how long. Basically, I'm running dry. I'm bootstrapping this entire venture, so to say. So the company, the YouTube channel, it's all bootstrapped, and funds are running dry that I can't afford to invest, to do major investments like purchasing timber, wood, hardware and such to do builds. And so if by the end of the year nothing has changed, I might have to hopefully pause Unquendo guitars. yeah, or maybe close the doors. I'm not sure yet. It depends. Maybe go back to doing this as a hobby, and yeah, do some infrequent things on YouTube, or maybe come up with other ideas to do on YouTube, or to do as a hobby. But as a professional aspiring business, let's call it that, yeah, things need to change this year. I have good hopes on the 2 customers I'm working with right now, and of course in September I'm attending the Mannheim Guitar Summit, and I have very high hopes for that show. So I'm going to try and how do you call it? Stretch it for as long as possible. But yeah, the end is near, so to say. So the plans for the future are basically, for this year, is focusing more on sales, on marketing and sales instead of YouTube. Unfortunately for you guys. But yeah, that's the all part of running a business. Yeah. Okay. You know when your plane is flat, when it sticks. When it sticks to the diamond plate, I can lift the diamond plate by the vacuum that's created underneath the plane, so it's nice and flat. And you can see that mark that was running along the center, that low spot, is as good as gone. There's a tiny bit left, but we get there with the next stage. Let's see, Stan, here in the UK so many guitar stores have closed recently. GAK, PMT and so on, such a shame. Oh yeah, yeah, we don't have a lot of stores where I live, but there was one here where I live and a couple of towns over, and we frequently visited those, and of course played guitars for hours until the owners got annoyed with us. And I had to leave. And yeah, the only guitar I ever dreamt of owning is the one I have, the one I just talked about, the Westtone Pantera. As soon as I saw that guitar, and there's a nice story attached to that guitar as well. I think I must have been 15 years old when I walked into a store and I saw that guitar, and it must have been second hand already, because it was in the early 90s and the guitar is from the late 70s, so it must have been second hand, but it didn't look second hand at all. But I saw that guitar, I played it, and I fell in love with that guitar. And there was I hadn't seen any guitar like it. I hadn't played any guitar like it, but it was way too expensive for me. And my parents said I could buy it. I could have it if I could buy it myself. So I started working, started saving up, and when I almost had enough money to purchase the guitar, I went to the store. I went back to the store, and it was gone. It was no longer in the stores, and the owner told me it had sold. I was devastated, and I went home, and when I got home, that guitar was standing in the living room. My parents, who also didn't have a lot of money, were so afraid that the guitar would sell before I earned all the money myself, that they bought it and hid it from me until they were sure I could buy the guitar myself. But they did make sure no one else could buy it. So yeah, I'm really grateful that my parents did that for me. Where did you get the diamond split? Oh yeah, from a Dutch store called Baptist. It's a Dutch woodworking store, but these are the DMT Dia Sharp diamond stones. So anywhere you can buy the DMT brand, they have these stones, and I have the complete set. So from extra coarse all the way to extra fine, and they're great. Yeah, Graham, it's harder to compete with CNC manufacturers for customers that are price oriented. And it's something I had to learn, and it's a bit weird. But at this price point and for these kinds of guitars, these kinds of goods, be it guitars, high-end guitars, be it special high-end cars, and then I mean Ferrari and up, Koenigsegg and those Spiker, those brands. So Porsche, Ferrari, maybe and up. There's a whole section of cars beyond a Ferrari. It tends to get weird because at one point money isn't an option. Money isn't the option. Money isn't the reason, or price isn't the reason for someone purchasing a hand-built guitar, for example. It's 99% emotion and trust. You have to have something extraordinary, something that's very hard to get and is very limited. And then with those types of goods, like high-end hand-built guitars, then the higher the price, that's the more desirable a product becomes, or an item becomes. And but there's a thin line price-wise where that counterpoint, tipping point is when something becomes too expensive or overpriced. And that overpriced has more to do with quality and quantity. If something is overpriced, or if something is expensive, too expensive for the majority, but too common and too cheap to become an highly desirable product. It's hard to explain in English when trying to focus on a hand plane at the same time, but I hope you get my point. And with handmade guitars, it really is. It's more about emotion, and yeah, it's just a matter of finding the right match for, in my case, to me and a potential customer, someone who likes what I'm doing, who likes me, who likes my guitars. It all has to add up. Not only do my damn English vocabulary, grammar more. Not only do my guitars have to be absolutely perfect and very high end, but people also need to like me as a person. If I make beautiful guitars but I'm a donkey to work with, no one is going to buy my guitars, no matter how good they are or how cheap they are. As long as people have to deal with me, I also have to be at the top of my game, so to say. Unless I build very cheap guitars and I can sell them faceless, using a web shop, for example, then it doesn't matter how much of an ass you are. But yeah, convinced that with my guitars and the market I'm in, I also play a huge part whether or not people are interested or tempted to buy one of my guitars. We're getting there. Few scratches left. And I'm not paying attention to what I'm doing. Oh, yeah. And this was fine. Oh, thanks, Graham. Yeah, and that's... oh, I've great story, parents, great. Thank you, yeah. Thank you, Stan. Circle back a bit to that story of my parents. Funny how older you get, the more you appreciate your parents. It really is, it really is. And you start to realize what they did for you and what they didn't do for themselves. Have you ever contacted a famous band guitarist about making them a guitar? Yeah, I had, well, not real famous world renowned players to play my guitars. But I had two guys here in the Netherlands. One was, well, quite famous for what he did. He was in the leading lead guitar player and singer for the best Dutch and Belgium Metallica tribute band. So he played fairly great, very big gigs, a couple of thousand people, almost every weekend, and he was a regular on a tribute band production. I worked with him for a while, but that didn't work out. And except one of the customers I'm working with right now, who saw him play, and now after a couple of years is inquiring about a guitar. But the thing is, with the medium semi-professional guitars, and this is totally my opinion and my experience, and what I think is happening is that a lot of people going to those concerts don't care what guitar he's playing. They just want to hear a Metallica song, or if it's a Rolling Stones tribute, they just want to hear Angie and Painted Black, and they don't care what kind of guitar the guitarist is playing. Maybe one or two, but at the end of the concert they most likely don't remember that guitar at all. So you have some exposure, but not much. And when you go to the world famous or renowned or very well known guitar players, they usually have a contract with a bigger brand because they need worldwide, how do you call it, assistance. Let's say, I don't know if it's the correct word, but they need a worldwide network they can rely on when playing a world tour. For example, if they break a guitar in London, and of course they have spares, but they want to be sure they can have someone either look at the guitar or look at the gear or replace the gear. Herman Lee, from one of the guitarists of Dragon Force, talked about it a lot a couple of years ago when he was thinking about switching from Ibanez, and he talked about it quite extensively, how he needed a global brand instead of a boutique builder. So maybe they like to buy a boutique guitar, but it's either for in the studio or at home, because they're usually under contract by bigger brands to only appear in public and in media with their endorsements brand. Did that make any sense? So, we're almost there, guys. Oh, you can see my reflection. I think I have seen some of his videos. I have to admit, hi Adam, I have to admit I don't watch a lot of guitar building videos. Something to do with anxiety and imposter syndrome. So I really have to take care and have to be mindful of what video to watch and when to watch a guitar building video. Yeah, that's what I'm focusing on now, John, on Mr. John, on marketing and strategizing. Of course, when I visited Montreux, the Montreux Guitar Show a couple of weeks ago, and I was fortunate enough that Paul Davis visited my booth and played one of my guitars a little bit. But unfortunately I had problems with my amp, so he didn't like the sound of the amp, so he wasn't inspired. Unfortunately, he liked the guitar, but he was annoyed by my amp. But he played my guitars and he liked it. But again, Paul Davis is not a gear review channel necessarily, but hopefully when visiting and attending the Guitar Summit in Mannheim, there's a lot of YouTubers and influencers and artists there, and to my understanding, what I heard from some colleagues here in the Netherlands that attended the Guitar Summit, they said it was life-changing for them. So fingers crossed. It will also be a step in the good direction for Encuentro guitars. So I'm done with flattening the sole of the plane. Piece of MDF with some polishing compound on it. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, that's coolberry here. If you have that opportunity. We're almost there, guys. Let us drop. A nice flattened sole of a plane. Let's sharpen the blade. And it was already fairly sharp. Again, you can see, maybe here on the, oh, maybe here. Come on, focus. Hide my face. No. The two spots I just hit on either side of the blade on the fine sharpening stone. So I'm going to switch it for a coarser one. Oh yeah, let me know. UK is doable. Either sending it over or make a trip. Make it into a collab, maybe. Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, but my I can't recall his name, but he has a different vibe, so to say, than I do. I don't think we're that compatible. Also, he has similar audience that I do. It has to be in, yeah, maybe Paul Davis. Although gear reviews aren't his thing, this isn't coarse enough. But maybe guys like Rabia Massad and maybe the guys from the pedal show, Ola England maybe, but that's more in the metal side. I can't recall from the top of my head, but guys like that. What's his name? The guy from Scottish, from the Science of Loud. Yeah, me too, Adam. And yeah, like I said, those guys are most likely all at the Guitar Summit. So hopefully I can bump into them. And they can give my guitars a go. Wow, this blade is hard. But maybe what's his name? The Guitar Samurai. I'm so bad at names, guys. This is ridiculously hard. Tiny bit of camera. Yeah, it's flat. I always spend the extra time on the back of any blade, a plain blade, a chisel. I noticed when you have a dead flat back of a blade, it's much easier to sharpen. Dead flat, nice and shiny. Yeah, it's worth the effort, Adam. And also, yeah, let's finish the back first. What the? Ooh. Do I add a second or a third bevel to my planes or blades? No. Only one bevel. I can see why you could put a second bevel to a edge, but a third. I'm not a, how do we call it? A sharpening extremist or purist is the better term. I am an extremist because I want my blades to be extremely sharp. But I'm not a purist of doing it, of having my blades at a certain angle or honed up to a specific grit. If I can shave my arms with a blade smoothly, then it's sharp enough for woodworking. Last week, I think last week, I sharpened our kitchen knives and one fell and it cut through the protector that was covering the knife, and it fell into a grocery bag, cutting through the grocery bag, and not a flimsy plastic bag or a paper bag, but just a regular reusable grocery bag, and it cut straight through. So it was sharp. Well, I'm going to close the door. One moment. It's starting to get dark out, so I'm being terrorized by little flies and mosquitoes. Right now, it's not too bad. It's 26.7 degrees Celsius with a 43% relative humidity. But that's with the AC running or cooled ventilator fan. Not really an AC unit, but remember me, Freyon, from months ago? Vaguely. Vaguely. I see so many names, and sometimes I can't place if it was in a live stream, in chat, in a message, in an email, in a WhatsApp comment. I see so many names. Yeah, you're welcome, Stan. Have a nice evening. And yeah, thank you for hanging out for a while. You know what's frustrating, guys? Every time you watch a YouTube video of someone flattening a blade or sharpening a blade, they always seem to only have to do 15 strokes or something. Oh yeah, just do 15 strokes and it's perfectly polished. Well, you can see nothing you see online can be trusted. It takes a while, so if you're watching this right now in the chat or later in a video, you can see it takes a while to flatten a blade, especially a very hardened blade like this one. I don't know what type of steel this is, but it's very hard. And even my diamond stones are struggling a bit to flatten it. That's a nice thing about a live stream. I can't cut half an hour off rubbing a blade on a piece of diamond stone. But it is what it takes. This is the real deal. Yeah, you can use the ruler trick by just lifting this side of the blade. But then the downside is that only a fraction of the back is flattened. And then the next time you have to do the exact same thing. And now when it's flat and polished, the next time I need to sharpen the blade, I can just go in on my very fine blade, just give it a couple of rubs like you see in all the YouTube videos, and then it's razor sharp again. This is I think of this as an investment of time and effort now that I have time to do this and I have nothing else to do while chatting with you guys. Then when I'm building a guitar, and that's also the reason why I sharpen all my tools at the start or just before starting a new build, that I don't have to do a lot of sharpening and such when I'm building. That when I grab a tool because I need it, it's ready to go and only needs a bit of touching up when working with the tool. And I can just have one diamond stone out. Here we go. This one is too high. Joseph, about this angle approximately. I never measure the angle. Like I said, I'm not a sharpening purist. Maybe I'm not even a good woodworker. I don't know. I don't. As long as it's sharp, it's good for me. And to be honest, I don't think it makes that much of a difference. But that's, again, purely my opinion. If someone can educate me on why the angle, this angle matters, so the angle between the back of the blade and the pointy edge, because it's such a small surface area that hits the actual wood, that I don't think it matters. What does matter is the angle the blade is set in the plane. The only thing I know, and that's more from sharpening knives and axes, is that essentially the shallower this angle is, the sturdier your cutting edge is. But again, for example, you don't want an axe to be razor sharp, because it will stick in the wood constantly. No, Joseph, I don't use a secondary bevel. I just make sure that the back of the blade, and you can see me spending much more time on the back of the blade than in a moment on the bevel. I really like the back of the blade to be as flat and polished as possible. It helps me sharpening, it helps me to sharpen the blade a lot. And this blade really has a dip at the front. And I could already also see it at the front of the guitar. Maybe you can see it, the reflection. That is also a dip, so the entire blade is dipped ever so slightly. I need to remove it. Yeah, gnarly hardwood, low angle, real sharp, or a scraper, or a mechanical sander. Yeah, guys, if you're familiar with my videos, with my building videos, you can see how much I can do with my number 7. One plane, one blade, one angle, good quality sharpened blade, and a good and the plane set up perfectly. Yeah, but it's not hollow ground like so. It's a bit like this. So maybe it's a bit hollow ground. But we'll get there, we'll get there. Yeah, scrapers, just car scrapers, cabinet scrapers. They're fantastic. Come on. There are some deep scratches at the front of the blade from the sharpening in the factory. It has to do for now. Switch to the other stone. Yep. Yeah. I always like it when my blades start to stick to the diamond stones. I know I'm nearing flatness. Oh, you're watching at the top of my head. Sorry, guys. Oh. Yeah, we're getting there. Fine. Can I do this in 2 hours? Yeah, maybe. Speaking of marking knives, I don't know if they still make them, because they stopped making these rounded marking knives from Nerex. They now have a square one, but they use to make these lovely round marking knives. And when I heard they would stop production, I ordered. I quickly ordered one. Joseph, yeah, it depends. Currently I'm working with 2 possible clients for a possible commission build. And both are going to be a Nessa. That's my most popular model. And if for some reason I don't get a build commissioned, I might do another Pantera. I had some other plans, but unfortunately I can't afford to do those. So most likely I will either make another Pantera, so either 1 or 2 Nessas, if not a Pantera, or a new single cut model. Just to try out a bit of a different, a more classic looking single cut. Yeah, John, Mr. John. A secondary bevel is a sharpening hack to just make life easier when resharpening, but I think when you have a perfectly flattened back and a nicely sharpened and polished angle set on your blade, then resharpening the entire is the same, at least in my experience. And I think it holds the edge a bit longer without a secondary bevel, I mean. I got the 3 knife set. Oh yeah, they have a 3. If you're talking about the Nerex, I believe they do have a set of 3, and they're great. Hey Owen, how are you doing? Have you built any bass guitars? Yeah, I have built 1 bass guitar, and that might be also a thing to do another bass guitar at one point, but like I said, that will be 2026 at the earliest, if I can keep Enquendo guitars afloat until then. Why? Yeah, Barry, you're right. The angle I think mostly determines how sharp you can get it and how long it will last. To some degree. Maybe that would be a nice YouTube channel. Woodworking Mythbusters. How many myths and such there are about all aspects of guitar building and woodworking. Well, I think we're getting there. So we're getting there. This was fine. All right. Yeah, I always use a strop and a piece of MDF. So I use a strop, but not all blades tend to respond well to a strop. Sometimes it dulls them out for some reason. I don't know why. And what works best for me is just a piece of MDF. Of course, MDF usually is flat enough to do some sharpening, and I have some polishing compound on the MDF. And that together with some jeans works very well to do the final stage to make sure your blade cuts real smooth. And this is the stage I enjoy most, with the ultra fine diamond stone. And just keep polishing the back of the blade and eventually the bevel as well. Do you do the palm slap? I'm not sure what that means, Barry. Oh. So the blade sticks to the stone, it's a good sign. It's not perfect, but I think it will do. Oh. Oh yeah, I understand. Yeah, no, I usually use, if I'm wearing jeans, I'm using jeans to do the final pass. Yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. Okay, here we go. Let's see if I can cut myself. It might seem a bit gross, but come on, focus, focus camera. It doesn't want to focus on. Maybe, come on. Here we go. You can see I could shave myself. Without any issues. So let's finish this. It depends a bit, Joseph. I personally like to take off very thin shavings, no matter if I need to shave plane the wood down a lot or just a tiny bit. So the finer the shaving you like to take, the smaller you can have the gap at the front of the plane. If you can adjust the gap. On this plane, for example, there's no adjustment for the mouth of the plane. It is what it is. Now let's put this bad boy back together. And let's see if we can find something to use it on. Make sure the blade is nicely squared up. And I like to check it with just a off cut and a very shallow cut, and feel if it cuts the same all along the width of the blade. Bit too much. I think I'm there. Yeah. Put these stones away and let's test the plane. Let's see, can I do this? Yes, I can. Can I do this as well? Don't lose connection anywhere. Okay. Let's see, a piece of black limba. Haha. You can see pretty nice shaving. It really is a great plane. Can we see? Can we make an even thinner ribbon? This is too thin. A bit too thin. Now Black Limba is a very open pored wood type. Where are you? There you are. This is really, really thin. A bit coarser. Again, a nice ribbon. So overall, Matthew, if you're still in chat, thank you so very much for gifting me this plane. Still unbelievable. I love it. Can you do a yeah. That's definitely something you can do. It's a lovely plane, and maybe you can hear it. Of course you can't feel the weight of this plane, but maybe you can hear it, how solid this plane is. Yeah. It's heavier than my little Stanley, what is it, number 21 block plane, which also is a good value for money when it comes to block planes. But this one's heavier. Let's see how my 19th century Stanley holds up. Fairly similar. Well, this seems to cut a tiny bit better. And that's because of the weight. One-handed. Hi, Hot. I might have found a new favorite block plane. Yeah, Barry, look them up. For anyone new, the block plane I'm testing is a Yuma rebatting low angle block plane that I was gifted by one of you guys, by Matthew Drake. Sent me one of his own planes as a gift, and I'm really, I don't know. Lost for words at the moment. Let's switch back. Let's switch the cameras again. Let's see this one. Yeah, here we are. have Chad back. Yeah, oh, I'm going to shut down the secondary camera, iPhone. No, okay. Off. Yeah, it feels great one-handed. I have fairly black hands, big hands, and it fits my hands perfect. You can see the back of the plane fits very well in the palm of my hand. So it fits my hands perfectly. The plane is, I'm sorry, we're going metric, 16 centimeters in length and approximately 45 millimeters wide. It's a tiny bit smaller than my other favorite low-angled block plane. I think these angles are slightly different on the blade. So that might be the difference I noticed when planing the Black Limba just now. Yeah, it's a fairly heavy little plane. I like it a lot. So this one goes here, and your band. And this one, I need to make a fitting little shelf for that plane, but for now it's going to live up there. So and it comes with a spare blade. That's awesome. So if you're one that likes to have different angles on their blade, you can do so with the spare blade. You can have two different angles set on the two blades, so you can swap them out easily. Let's see. Luckily it's barbecue season, so I can use my shavings as tinder and starters for the barbecue. So this is where the spare blades go. And all the sharpening stones go on top. Yep. Let's put everything back where it belongs. So, did I miss anything in chat? No. Yeah, again, Matthew, if you're still in chat or if you're watching this video later on, yeah, again, thank you very much for sending me this lovely little plane. I'm sure I'm going to get some good usage out of it. So, yeah, that was a lovely surprise, a lovely gift, and something to do during this. Yeah, Adam, see you. Have a great day. See you in the next one. Thank you for joining. And yeah, I think, guys, if you don't have anything to ask of me, I think I've discussed what might happen to the channel, what's in store for the channel, what I'm doing at the moment. I'm going to try and do some more frequent updates, maybe in the community tab or on Instagram, so make sure you follow along there. And as soon as I have something interesting to talk about, I'll do a live stream. And as soon as I start building guitars, either hopefully a commissioned one or another YouTube series, of course you'll see the video pop right up in your YouTube feed, hopefully. So if there aren't any more questions, I think we're going to leave it at this. And yeah, I hope to see you all in the next video or in the next stream. And I'd like to wish you all a great day. Again, Owen.
Tokyo Guitars just sent a super chat and said, "Grab a beer on me, and thank you always for your technical advice for me when I need it."
Thank you very much, Owen. It's highly appreciated. And yeah, you know, just drop me a message either via Instagram or send me an email if you need any advice. So thank you very much, Owen. I think I have a 7-Up right here, but as soon as I'm done with the stream, I think I'm going to grab myself a nice dark ale. Yeah, Brian, catch you later. Let's give it a couple of more minutes, guys, while I finish my 7-Up. And how do you call it in English? Is it a praline? We call it a bonbon, a bit of chocolate with a nice cream filling. It's been in the shed all night. Thank you, Mr. John. Nice for you to join. How nice of you. Ah, my English is getting terrible. Yeah. It's good for you to eat with dirty hands. It helps with your, it's good for the immune system. So, let's tidy up the shed a bit. No, it was just a regular. It was one you can give to your kids or your wife or your parents. It was not loaded with some Dutch goodies. And to be honest with you, if that's what you mean, it's not a lot of Dutch people use that stuff anyways. So, the towel is back on the workbench. So it's been almost 2.5 hours. Like I said, I'm going to grab myself, oh sorry guys, I'm going to grab myself a beer, and I hope to see you all in a next video. As always guys, thank you very much for hanging out with me, and take care and bye bye. Thanks guys. Oh yeah, I leave the chat running for a couple of more minutes.